Welcome back. Sock Talk, Week 7. Let's just jump right into the news. Got a lot of trades.
Mostly by James.
Mostly by James. Let's hear them.
The first one was the big one. James got Hopkins, Darren Waller, Miles Sanders, a 2024 fourth, 2024 third, and another 2024 third for Madison, Salvan Ahmed, a 2020 James's 2026 first, Griff's 2024 first, and a 2025 third. What are your thoughts?
That was a trade. It's not pulling up my computer because why the fuck would it? Honestly, I'm trying to visualize everything, but so I don't think Evan got great value with the players. I think I do like him capitalizing on the picks. Hopkins and Waller are aging, and I don't know if you could get much more than that for them. And Miles Sanders has sucked. So James has retained a couple late round picks, but I do like the draft pick compensation for Evan. And with James right now, it makes sense to maybe buy him because the division, everyone is very close, and we don't know who's going to be a playoff team there, besides Ethan.
Yeah.
I think everyone's either at this point there might be a little bit of separation, but coming into this week, everyone was 2-3. James was 1-5, and Ethan was 5-1. It was
4-1 and
4-1.
5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely like this for Evan. I think I was thinking about offering for Hopkins, and it was not as much as this. That's for sure. I also didn't, but Hopkins also now, Tannehill might be hurt, and Malik Willis is not a good quarterback, and I don't think Will Levis is any better.
And Hopkins didn't look very happy on Sunday. I think there was a thing where Kyle Phillips went to sit down next to him.
Yeah,
just
after
got
fumbling, and he got up and walked away.
Yeah.
Unless Hopkins gets traded, I don't know. Miles Sanders is also really bad.
Yeah, and hurt.
Waller is, I mean, he's a fine tight end. I understand getting that, but again, Waller's 31, Hopkins is 31, Miles Sanders 26, and Alexander Madison's been he's been an RB2 every week but one. So if you're competing, we do all talk about how much Madison stinks, because he kind of does, but he has been an RB2 for fantasy this year, and Miles Sanders has only been an RB2 2 out of the 5 weeks he played. So I think that's almost a downgrade. I think Miles Sanders was only kind of good behind Philly's O-line. I don't know if he's the best running back around out there. But I think if he kept one of these firsts, his in 2026 or something, and just offered Griff, Madison a third, and then maybe didn't get the thirds and fourth back. I don't know. I feel like that would have been a little more fair. Maybe he gives a third instead of that first or something. I just think the 2 firsts and Madison was definitely a little too much to give up for old, aging guys.
I can understand that, and maybe it gets to a point where, hey, these guys aren't performing very well.
Let me go get less back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
He's doing the patented War Eagles, buy high, sell low.
Yeah. I mean, if it helped him get to the playoffs, I guess it's worth it. This is just a lot more than I would have paid. He also then made a trade with Griff, giving the 2024 third he just got, which was Matt's, for Chuba Hubbard. This one I do like. I think Chuba should probably be starting over Miles Sanders.
He's looked very good.
I think he's a better running back, and this is, I think it's a good move to make with also getting Miles Sanders being out. He put up 16 points in this week too. I think he maybe gets more run going forward because it's their bye week, so maybe they kind of make the switch there. I don't know. But I thought this was a good deal for him for just giving
Also,
up
a
a
boost for
third.
the Panthers offense, or what I think is going to be a boost, I'm not really sure, is play calling is now in the offensive coordinator's hands, and Thomas Brown's no longer Frank Reich. And I kind of hope that the Panthers offense gets less vanilla. That being said, Thomas Brown has not called plays before. So it could either be really good or like really bad.
True. And then James also made a trade with Evan again, giving a fourth and 150 fab for Dalvin Cook. More like Dalvin cooked.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, he's bad. I'm a Jets fan. He sucks.
And Brees Hall is indeed back.
Yeah. The only way this ever turns out decent is if Hall gets hurt again. But he also gave up a fourth, so didn't really give up much. I just don't think.
And Fab. Don't forget the Fab.
And fab. Don't forget the fab. But yeah, those were the trades we got. There's been rumblings of more trades.
Been hearing so much stuff.
Maybe we'll see one. Then we also had some injuries. A lot of them we don't really know what's going to happen. Not like IR'd, but possibly missing a few weeks. We got like McCaffrey, David Montgomery, Kyron Williams, others.
Yeah.
So-
the Rams RB core took a freaking hit.
Ronnie
Sunday.
Rivers.
He's on IR. That
Yeah, he is on IR. There's a bunch of quarterbacks too. Garoppolo was like in the hospital. I mentioned Tannehill.
Damian Harris
Trevor
snapped
Lawrence
his neck.
knee. Yeah,
They had the DeMar Hamlin ambulance come out.
yeah, that's crazy. There was a lot of injuries that we'll probably talk about here in Power Rankings. So, Power Rankings.
Yeah.
Number 12, Matt.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Hmm?
We got Matt. Matt has scored less points than you this year,
It has the better record.
yet has the better record. But again, he only put up 86 points this week. On the bright side, Garrett Wilson looks solid, and Rashee Rice has been involved. Brian Robinson also found the end zone. But the rest of the team, not really there. McLaughlin, with the other running backs back, didn't have as good of a week. Also going up against Kansas City, so a little bit better team. Tutu Atwell didn't have really anything going because it's all Cooper Kupp now. And then, yeah, you go through the bench. Josh Palmer did good, and Shaheed had a good week. Again, just hasn't really been putting up a lot of points. Has some players that could maybe win some more games, but just coming in at number 12 for now.
Yeah, he has 3 less points than me.
And that's why he finished last. We could go right into you at 11, because that's where you're those 3 points
Not
really
12, baby.
really set you apart. Yeah, you stayed at 11. Way to hold strong.
Thank you.
Brees Hall
Is back.
back. Zay looks good.
Looks good.
Hurts.
Did pretty good.
Everyone else didn't break 10 points. I think that's where things went wrong.
Yeah, well, Roshan Johnson had a fake concussion. Concussions aren't really real.
And no Christian Watson for you last week. I think if you get Watson back and he kind of plays like how he did last year, now hasn't been horrible this year, but if he could get back to some of those high teens, 20, 30-point weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a
Learning curve with Love.
learning curve with Love, and also, again, coming off the hamstring injury. He was still questionable the last 2 games that he had played. Limited snap counts in the first game. He only had 46.
Yeah.
But this week, he's off the injury report.
Yeah, had the
And
bye week,
They're
so
playing Denver, not great defense.
got to heal up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then if Roshan Johnson head ever does heal, because he was not practicing again today.
He might just be dead. I can't confirm his status right now.
And then, but if he could get going, he's looked again okay in his time, decent yards per carry. But now with Herbert hurt, if he could kind of take over, would be pretty good. And maybe if Gabe Davis has a Gabe Davis week, finally had a down week after 4 straight good weeks.
Hey man, maybe Gabe Davis is finally turning a new leaf.
He scored 3 points though.
But last year he would have had 3 of those games and 1 really good one.
True.
But now he's had like 4 decent games and like 1 or 2 stinkers.
Yeah. I think if just like the guys you want to look good are looking good, it's a solid season, and maybe you could start consistently being around 100 points. And
that means I would win.
Moving up the power rankings a little.
Yeah, that's definitely what I want to move up on. Definitely not the draft order.
10, I have James. James got his first win. We have no more winless and undefeated.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Well,
Everybody.
that's a spoiler alert. You big idiot. We got to restart now.
But yeah. Chuba looked good. Damian Pierce did not. 13 carries for 34 yards on 33% of snaps.
Got out snapped by Devin Singletary.
Yeah.
Is that good?
I'm going to go with no. Debo also got banged up. Hopkins, his new acquisition, 1 for 5 on catches to targets. But Drake London looked good. Schultz, again, found the end zone. Again, kind of talked about his team a little bit with all these trades.
And Pickens on the bye, I feel like that also took away some points. Maybe you're not starting the 2 tight end set.
Yeah, and then he didn't play anybody in his last flex because he didn't want him to get negative when he was
Brandon
already
Cooks.
up.
Yeah, he was up 1. He said, you know what, I'm not going to take the risk. Cooks,
we'll see if that does hurt him later in the year, if it comes down to like a playoff tie and he needs the
Cooks
points.
Cooks did get 15 points.
Like, we've seen some of these come down to only a handful of points. I think Griff and Trevor last year for the bye, it was like, unless I'm very wrong, but one year it was like only a few points away, so that could make a difference later on. But he made all those trades, and we'll see if that equates to wins. 9, I have Steve. Steve did break the 100-piece last week, and that was with his QB, only scoring 7 points. If he starts Carr or Stafford, give him a little bit more. Also, if he doesn't start Demercado, the perfect trade apparently was not perfect. Trevor just owned him, and he gets, I don't know, someone else in there. It's a pretty close game against Zach. Ford, again, has still remained solid looking. Nothing super special, but solid, kind of in that backfield. Christian Kirk looked good. Jacoby Myers has been outscoring Devontae Adams, which is interesting. And Curtis Samuel is playing over and doing better than Jahan Dotson, which I don't think a lot of people had on their bingo cards. So
no, I most certainly didn't. I'll be the first guy to say it.
I mean, he has like pretty decent receivers. Ford at running back is whatever. Kind of just needs a James Conner to come back and could possibly get some wins.
No.
You're right, he can't get wins. But there's also talk about how he wants to trade everybody again. So he bought just to lose. He blew it up to win and then bought to lose. And he's not going to blow it up to win again?
No.
I don't know. It'll be interesting again. Still in that playoff spot. Currently behind me in points, but same record. And yeah, it'll be interesting kind of what happens with this team. 8, we got Evan. Evan pulled out the win against you last week.
Adam, this is an Anteater's stand account.
Yeah. Judy, after Steve Smith called him a bum basically.
Yeah, pretty
Got
much.
really mad at him and then yelled at him for Judy like not caring about him, and it's kind of weird. I don't know why every announcer this year wants to like fight every player and call them horrible, but that's what
It's
announcers
2023, dude.
like to do now. But in maybe his last game or one of his last few games as a Denver Bronco, if he gets traded, been a lot of rumblings about that, possibly to the Colts, which I feel like is a weird fit.
Yeah, maybe the Colts back down on that Richardson's done for the year.
Yeah, that could definitely be the case. We'll see if he goes anywhere else, but not his best showing, right there. But Waddle looked pretty good. New acquisition, Madison broke 10 points. No one really stood out, but did enough to get the win, and we'll see if that keeps up or not. 7, have myself. I lost. Trevor had a good week, and I was very close to 100. Zach Moss is still him.
Apparently.
Can't stop, won't stop. Kind of still looks timeshare-y there. Moss played 50% of snaps, but found the end zone, did okay with his carries and targets compared to what Taylor also did. So neither of them. Taylor didn't look like way better. Neither did Moss. Ramondre scored and didn't look horrible, but the rest of the team kind of did just fine, besides Quentin Johnston, who stinks. Looking forward to my Bust of the Year award. Already
What
got.
was that, 3 years running?
Didn't win it last year, but
Who got it last year?
Cherry for Sky Moore.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
So get awards going back to where it belongs.
With the first round curse.
Yeah, I suck.
Fuck you.
He sucks. I suck. Whatever. Kyle Pitts looks good now. 2 good weeks in a row. Love to see that.
I don't know if I can trust that or not, though.
Why
Like,
not?
what? It was to get people to put him back in the lineup just so they could drop a stinker this week.
Yeah, but he won't be in my lineup unless he is. 6, I have Jasmus. Put up 117. Good week. One question is, when did Pacheco be able to catch passes?
Yeah, I could have sworn that was like his one thing he couldn't do.
Yeah, last year he caught 13 passes. This year he's already caught 17. So they're definitely throwing him a lot more. McKinnon not really doing much. I wonder if they're kind of already knowing that they're going to probably end up in the playoffs and saving McKinnon for the playoffs, just being undersized, older, and a little bit of have some injury and tread on those tires if they're going to do anything with that. And Cooper Kupp is back and really good and may just carry this team to the playoffs.
Very well could. I think he's in position right now to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, as things currently stand, he is. And then Kendrick Bourne had his big week, his first one since week 1. We'll see if that keeps up or if this is a pattern of big, just random boom weeks. See just worse Gabe Davis.
Might be worse Gabe Davis.
Might be worse Gabe Davis.
An older Gabe Davis.
Eckler finally came back, but it didn't really look good besides like one catch. Besides that, wasn't too great, but the Chargers also just didn't look great at all, and Dallas has a good defense. 5, I have Cherry, who Jasmus beat. Walker still looked good. Bijan still puzzling of like, wow, this guy's really good, and he has been an RB2 or better every week, but I feel like you're still kind of expecting more, kind of expecting that big 25, 30-point week where he rushes for over 100, catches a bunch of balls, scores a few touchdowns. We just haven't seen that yet. Hasn't been super efficient on the ground these last few weeks, but still getting decent work through the air. And then Calvin Ridley also has kind of come and gone this year. 3 duds, 3 solid weeks. And then Rachaad White, bad week. He's been up and down so far.
Yeah.
But Cherry, sitting at a cool 5-1
Somehow.
somehow, some way, but that's where he is.
He's the only person. I shouldn't say that. I thought the points against was points for us. He's the only person who scored, under 700 points in our division. I'm like, oh, wait, that's not true at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4, I have Trevor. Trevor's 3-3 and currently out of the playoffs, but got a big win against me. Lost Kyron Williams to ankle injury. Puka definitely took a back seat to Cup this week. Last week it was a little more even. This week really kind of stepped back. But the rest of the team, Tyreek Hill is, I think, what is it again? He's like 190 yards away from 1,000. And it's going into week 7.
That is something.
That might be good.
I'm getting a phone call that's telling me it's pretty good.
Yeah. And his whole team just did well. Starting lineup was solid. A lot of them in the 20s or high teens. Very good week for Trevor, but he just still needs to string these wins together and hope some of these teams ahead of him lose. 3, I have Zach. Zach won, but did not have his best week, only putting up 118. McCaffrey also got hurt. Devontae, I think, got hurt, but then came back in, missed some time. David Montgomery also got hurt. Aaron Jones is still hurt. He may not have a running back this week.
Yeah, he might have an empty spot.
And that would be not great. But Adam Thielen is
cooking.
Wide receiver 3 this year, just as we all expected.
Good thing he's definitely playing this week.
He's not playing this week. But he's somehow wide receiver 3.
Yep. Because why not?
But yeah, still a really good team. Just gotta hope these injuries aren't serious. Survive this week. And then get back on your winning ways if you're Zach. Just gotta stay healthy. 2, Ethan. Ethan lost. And at the same time also put up the second most points in the league.
Just so happened
to be playing the team that put up the most. So that's always very disappointing. You look back on this week and go, man, if I played anybody else. But ETN, 2 touchdowns, looked really good for the second week in a row. Derrick Henry found the end zone. Diggs looks solid. Keenan Allen looks really good. Kelsey, Olave bounced back. Jahan Dotson, though, might be time to find the bench again. Mentioned earlier, Curtis Samuel's kind of been playing above him. Maybe you go to Javonte Williams or something. I don't know. That second flex for him is kind of up in the air right now.
The 1 weak spot and a really good team.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens with Trevor Lawrence. He's questionable. They do play on Thursday. I think it was a knee injury. If he doesn't play, he might not have a quarterback.
That is something.
That is something. So we might see a quarterbackless Ethan versus a running backless Zach this week.
That's actually really funny.
That would be good. And number 1, we have Griff. Griff's so good.
Very good.
Put up the most points last week, and he did it without his best player, Justin Jefferson.
So much for that.
So all the thoughts that we were having of how's he going to survive and what's he going to do without Jefferson, I guess Raheem Mostert's going to score 34 points and 3 touchdowns. Amon-Ra's going to drop 30. Everybody on his team broke 10 points. Just a really strong team. Josh Downs scored, so it's like even the bench is looking good. Getting Jefferson back will only help. And if you look at his all-play record, week 5 was his only iffy week where he would have been 6-5 against the rest of the league. He's 58-8 against everybody.
I'm being told that's good.
It's good.
What's my record at right now?
13 and 53. Matt's the worst at 10 and 56. But yeah, there's a clear tier break in these top 4 teams. Griff 58 and 8, Ethan 54 and 12, Trevor 52 and 14, Zach 51 and 15, and then it drops to me and Cherry at the same 36 and 30.
Interesting.
So yeah, pretty close there. Again, we look at strength of schedule remaining. The hardest 2 for points for are Jasmus and Matt. Easiest remaining is James, Ethan, me, Cherry, you, Cherry, and Trevor for the points for, and remaining strength of schedule for like wins. Cherry's got it pretty easy. James has it really easy. Evan has it difficult along with Matt. And I think it's funny to look at the whole season strength of schedule. Cherry's is pretty bad. So Cherry has definitely benefited from a weak schedule, and it's not even like it's really getting that much harder. So if you could just ride that schedule, take what the season gives him to the playoffs, I think that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, and we can talk more about Cherry's future and the rest of the league's future in matchup previews coming up right now. And we are back. Matchup previews time. Adam, tell the folks what happened last week.
Last week, Steve played his 20th game and lost to Zach.
I'm going to stop clapping now.
To have a 6-14 record so far. Matt and James, granted James didn't play someone, but kept the win. 9th closest game of all time.
All right.
Jasmus and Cherry. Jasmus has won 4 straight.
Is Jasmus hot?
And well, against Cherry.
Oh.
Specifically against Cherry.
Because I thought he was 3-3, but
yeah, and has a 4.38 point differential. Griff gets win 50, beating Ethan, and is a perfect 6-0 versus Ethan.
Attaboy.
Evan wins 4 straight to go 6-1 against you.
I just respect Evan so much.
And Trevor is 5-2 all time against me and has won 4 straight. If we look at the picks, yikes! You went 1-2. Had yourself wrong. Had Matt wrong. Only got Griff for 5.4 points to go to 11-7 as your record and 47.3 points. I went 3-0, 11.5 points, 15-3 record, 64.2. So I'm up 64.2 to 47.3. You might want to turn that around.
Yeah.
So you could lead us in with our first matchup.
Well, what better matchup to lead us up with? With the Sock Talk Bowl. Adam versus Ryan.
You're going down.
Not according to me. Because for 5.6 points, I'm taking myself. You want to know why? You want to know why, Adam? I got a lot of green on my side. A lot of it. I'm liking my matchup this week. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna win. That's all I gotta say.
I think one of the big questions is, will Roshan Johnson play?
Concussions aren't real.
If not, you're starting Akers against San Fran.
Concussions aren't real.
Who hasn't played much.
Concussions are not real.
But I do think it'll be probably pretty close. But I actually think I'm going to maybe score 140 and beat you by 30. So that's my real prediction. I am 4-3 all time. So you're trying to make it 500 against each other. Nice and even. And we both currently have the same exact record of 36 and 40.
which is hilarious. So one of us is going to finally break the...
One of us will go to 37 and 41.
Why were we the ones to host this show when we're generationally mid?
Yep, but that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. Who are you taking, Adam? Who are you taking?
I'm going to take... Jasmus. Jasmus over Trevor for 5.7
You
points.
try to one-up me like that, you fucking asshole.
You look at it, Pacheco, I mean, if he's catching the ball, that's good for him. Eckler, not the best matchup against Kansas City, but that could easily be a high-scoring game. Two strong offenses could run up some points. Cooper Kupp versus the Steelers might go for 50. Don't love Najee, but again, just like what we talked about, no Herbert, maybe no Roshan. Could be a Donta Foreman week where maybe he could go off. You look at Trevor's side, Pittman's done fine for sure with Minshew, but Cleveland's defense has been very good. So starting Taylor and Pittman against Cleveland, I don't know exactly how well that's going to work out. And then same thing, Puka, if Cooper Kupp eats again and Puka kind of has a down week, I think this is upset written all over it, and it's a game that Trevor really cannot lose. And Jasmus did win their last matchup, but Trevor is 4-2 all time, and Jasmus has his worst record against Trevor, but I think he turns that around a little bit.
All right, I guess it's going to go on to me. And I, myself, going to do something really stupid here. Really stupid. He might not even have a full starting lineup this week. But I'm taking Zach over Ethan for 5.2 points. Listen, what would Jones Drew is hot, and yet Ethan just dropped the second most points and lost. But here's the thing, is that when Ethan plays good teams, he scores a lot, but he gives up a lot. It's been the same thing for the last 2 years. If CMC was to play, I don't consider Minnesota a very good defense. If Aaron Jones was to play, I don't consider Denver a very good defense.
Definitely not.
Chicago is not great by any standard. Arizona is not fantastic. I just like Zach's matchups better. We don't know if T-Law is playing tomorrow against New Orleans. Javante's kind of, hot and cold. Well, not even hot, just mid. ETN is like the one guy I could see for hey, probably goes off, maybe even an Olave. But does Derek Carr even like Chris Olave?
Could be a big Thursday night for Ethan. We do also, if Lawrence doesn't go, who does for him at QB?
Malik Cunningham.
Yeah, I do think this is it's tough. Looking at this matchup where they're both healthy, I think I'd also go Zach, but I think those injury concerns are a little bit frightening, but I do think this could kind of go either way, so I totally see where you're coming from. And Zach won the last matchup in the playoffs, it was, versus Ethan. Knocked him out on his championship run, and they are 3-3 all time. I'm going to go with... should I just go like a freebie? Or should we have some fun?
Go wild.
Let's go wild, and let's take Steve over Cherry for 6.1 points. If you're going to get risky, I might as well too. We've only picked upsets so far.
Gotta love picking those upsets.
Looking at this, Steve is 0-1 versus Cherry. Turns that around now. Again, Cherry's been the easy schedule. And Steve has shown some flashes of a good Jordan Love versus Denver. If he gets back to those early weeks where he was throwing touchdowns and not that last week where he was really bad, it's the right defense to do it again. You're also coming off of the bye. Team should, in theory, be a little bit healthier. Could run up the score. Definitely could look good there. The Giants haven't looked great, so Terry could go off there. Chicago hasn't looked great, and Jacoby Myers has looked really good there. Again, might not have a QB, so that could be, who knows, with Garoppolo. But yeah, if I'm calling it now, we're seeing Jordan Love throw 2 touchdowns, 2 Dobbs.
Both to Christian Watson.
2 Dobbs.
Both to Christian Watson.
And that puts him over the edge. Plus, you look at Cherry's side, Atlanta and Tampa Bay might be a 6-0 score.
Yeah.
Just 2 field goals and that's it. So no touchdowns for Bijan or Rachaad White. Could just be a slow day there of them running the ball to them, but not too efficiently. Keeping the score low. Calvin Ridley's been so up and down. Green Bay's defense has been good, so if like Jair's on Sutton, could be a long day there. I do think Philly versus Miami, possibility of a shootout. Tua could go off. Same thing, Kenneth Walker versus Arizona could go off. In hindsight, Cherry probably wins, but I think this might be a little bit closer than what Sleeper has it right now.
Okay. I'm going to stick... You know, I'm actually not going to stick with the theme. I think I got to go a little safe. It probably isn't even as safe. But Adam, can you remind me what this is?
It's a Against the Cran, specifically from Ryan's view.
No. This is an Anteater Stand account. Taking the Anteaters, 4.7 points. James has a lot of injury questions. And
his whole team is on a bye. He traded for everybody, and they all said, hey, we're going to take this next week off.
He's like, all right, guys, maybe don't. But, yeah, a lot of guys on bye. He has the 2-inch punch of Kareem Hunt and Elijah Mitchell. Debo might not play. At least he gets Pickens back from the bye, but running the 2 tight end set with Waller and Cade Otton, like Adam said, the final score is going to be 6-0 in that Atlanta-Tampa game. I don't think Cade Otton does much there. We're taking Evan.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I think this game might also be horrendous. This might be bad. It is funny. Every player he traded for, Dalvin Cook, Chuba Hubbard, Hopkins, and Miles Sanders, they are all on bye. Everyone he traded for buying is on a bye. That's interesting. If CMC doesn't play, Elijah Mitchell could be in a good role to do something. But yeah, I don't know if I love the double tight end set, but then you look at his bench and you go, is there a better option? Nelson Aguilar? I don't know. But then you also go over here and you look at Evan's team. Royce Freeman is getting played. Royce Freeman.
He was just signed.
Royce Freeman has scored 40 points in the last 3 years, and he's now in your starting lineup. I don't know if that's a good thing. I already said I don't love the Sutton matchup. Judy, don't love that matchup. I think the big difference here, I already said it, Philly versus Miami could be a shootout. He has Devonta Smith. He has Jalen Waddle. Also, if Montgomery's out and Gibbs could go off, could look good there. I do agree. I think Evan probably pulls this one out.
And our last one.
And James is 3-2 with an 11-point differential. And they've played a lot of close games. I think this could be another one, but maybe an ugly close game.
75-74 final score prediction.
And then that leaves me.
It's a projected blowout. It's Griffin versus Matt. Does he do it?
I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take Griff.
I don't think we need any explanation there.
I do think it's funny. This is for 3.2 points. But yeah, Griff has the best all-play record. Matt has the worst. It would be really fitting if Matt pulled off an upset here. It would be hilarious. Griff has been dominant.
Except when he plays the War Eagles.
Matt has not. But you never know. That's why they play the games. Griff is 4-1 and has won 3 straight versus Matt. I think everything points to him winning here. But you play the games for a reason. Matt, you have a chance. That was a good episode, man.
Yeah, it was nice and quick.
Yeah.
Now that it's week 7, you can go fuck yourself. You're going down.
Get the fuck out. You're going down.
I'm fucking going.
Get out of here.